Hey y'all, so last week we did the C major bebop scale. Remember we just added a sharp fifth to a C major scale. Um, so it became an 8-note scale instead of a 7-note scale, or if you start on C and end on C, you might think of it as a 9-note scale. That's totally up to you. Now we're going to do the minor, and it's just as simple. We're just going to add one note. So, regular C minor scale. Let's do this now. C, D, E flat, F, G, A flat, B flat, C. We've just added the A flat. That's all we've done. Okay, again, why are we adding this flat note right here? This A flat. It sounds so weird when you play it on its own. Well, it may sound good in the tune. It gives you another note you can play with. Yeah, I mean, you can totally see here how that in context works, even though on its own it sounds odd, right? But you also have to remember sometimes we may hit a note by mistake. A flat 6 in this case. As long as we know go from A flat to B flat, or A flat back down to G, we can make it sound like we meant to do it. See, I mean, these are tricks. People act like jazz is like so advanced and sophisticated. A lot of it's just playing and figuring out how to make your mistakes sound good. Honestly. We want to go here. Right, C minor chord. Yeah, so anyway, that's your C minor bebop scale. Super simple. So what, 2-minute lesson? Did we hit the 3-minute mark even? I doubt it. Well, yes, 3 minutes 13 seconds because I was running my mouth. But you can pick that up. It's just a flat 6. Instead of playing the A, which is C, D, E, F, G, A, right? C, D, E, F, G, A, right? There we go. Let's just flat the A. So instead of going, go here. It's a neat scale. Play around with it. You'll find a lot of, certainly gypsy jazz, but, we could do that over autumn leaves all day. I mean, mix in some arpeggios and kind of emphasize that flat 6. Because the flat 6 is not natural to the major or minor scale. The flat 3rd is natural to the minor scale. The flat 7th is natural to the minor scale. Flat 6 is a very different note, okay? And it gives a whole different sound, even though we just added one note. A little chromatic there. It's just going. Easy. Super super easy and super useful, actually. There's something about that flat 6 that sounds easier on the ear than a lot of other notes. I'm not sure why that is. You could also seek it as sharp 5. You know, like we add the sharp 5 to the major scale. It just works. It's like a pivot point. If you hit that note, you want to go up or down. You don't want to stay on it. It's pulling that ear in one direction or another. In the minor, it's pulling it up, and I think in the major, it's kind of pulling it down. I don't know. But anyway, you look at it, super easy. And you just learn one more little trick by adding one note to a minor scale. That's it, y'all. Have a good one. As always, send me an email if you got any questions, justin@judsoncarroll.com. Leave a question or comment in the comment section below the video. I'll get right back with you. Have a great week. Oh, by the way, I'll show you my cool new Dunlop picks. I love these things. Remember, I love the big stubbies, and they were, when I bought a ton of them, were clear, and I was always losing them because literally they were clear. It's like dropping a piece of clear plastic. You couldn't find them. Got in touch with Dunlop. They said we're now doing them in red, and I ordered some, and I love these picks. This is the most comfortable, quietest. There's no pop. Listen. You're only hearing the string. You're not hearing the pick, right? Like, there we go. You're hearing strings. You're not hearing the... No pick noise whatsoever. This is the quietest pick. Really love these Dunlops. Check them out. This is the... What was this? 1 mil, I think. I cannot read it on there. But yeah, definitely Dunlop customer service is fantastic as well. They'll answer any questions. They have recommended thumb picks for me when I was playing guitar, jazz picks, finger picks, anything I need. Dunlop has been fantastic. Sometimes they'll send you samples even. So if you email them, just say I recommended you. That's not going to help you a bit. It's not going to help me a bit. They're not going to give me anything. I had to pay for these just like everybody else, but I would like for them to know how much I appreciate their customer service. This goes back to when I was working in the guitar shop in Athens, Georgia. Dunlop was always like the best company to work with. If there was a problem, if there was a question, if there was advice needed, you picked up the phone or typed an email, and Dunlop was on it like in the blink of an eye, and always really fantastic. The main thing I had a question about was a material they work with called Ivoroid. Ivoroid and Tortex. These, and then this soft nylon, which is just amazing actually. It's so smooth and so quiet. When you're looking for tone, a pick matters a lot. And a lot of professional musicians would come in, they say, I want a little bit more something a little more crisp. I want something a little more soft. You've got to kind of figure that out. I'd call up Dunlop or shoot them a message, and I'd be like, hey, got a customer, and they'd be like, 5 minutes, boom, here's your answer. These, I mean, you're not going to spend more than 50 cents to $1. I mean, your customer service for something so inexpensive is like off the charts. So anyway, if you ever do talk with somebody from Dunlop, tell them Judson Carroll sent you, and he loves their products with no remuneration, no anything required. I just happen to freaking love their products. I love Diodario strings. I have them in all my instruments. I love Larrivee guitars. I love Kentucky mandolins? Who did this mandolin? Anyway, I love Epiphone banjos. I have certain tastes. These picks, I'm telling you, you cannot beat a Dunlop. They are the best. PV amps, let me tell you, I played everything. Fenders, Gibsons, Marshalls, you name it, right? Okay, you can't really beat a Fender from the 60s, 70s, okay? You really cannot beat a Gibson from like the 50s and before. I mean, they're just amazing. Marshalls in the 70s. There's one company that gets like no recognition that has made consistently excellent amps for its entire existence, and that's PV. I have never played a bad PV amplifier. The PV Blues amplifiers, the old Tweed 50-watt Blues, probably in the top 3 amplifiers I've ever played. PV gets no credit at all. PV is actually a fantastic amplifier company, even for the cheap ones. And I've got, like, I don't know, 5 or 10 watt that I just plug in every now and then just to practice. It's got a couple shorts. I've had to go in and resolder. I mean, that's just, with a cheap amp, what do you expect? PV makes fantastic high-end amps and medium. They're like, for the money, PV's probably about the best you get, honestly. Now, I know there's some other brands that have come on recently. There's one that's so cheap and so good. I'll try to find you that. It starts with a G. Yeah, I'll try to find you that name. Really surprised the heck out of me. Sturdy, durable. You can pick it up, drop it. I mean, it's going to hold up really well. Glary, that's the name of it. Glary. I was like, wow, this is actually a decent amplifier for like 30 or 50 bucks. I mean, it's crazy. The old Line 6s, like the first generation of Line 6s, were pretty cool. They were a little too gimmicky. But yeah, other than that, let me tell you, if you're ever in a junk shop and you find a Silvertone amplifier from like the 50s or 60s, buy it. Buy it. One of my biggest regrets is selling a 1956 Silvertone 100 watt, I think it was. It was a big sucker. 75 watts, yeah. My word. I mean, I'd plug into that thing. It was like Link Ray. I mean, it was like, whoa. That amplifier, I mean, literally, you could have been a 5-year-old kid playing a guitar, and it would have made you sound like a rock star. I mean, they were phenomenal amps. They had reverb, they had tone, they had tremolo. I mean, you could do like the Buck Owens thing and like crank the tremolo and the treble up, and it would sound like you were in a grain silo. A lot of times you don't have to pay a lot of money for good gear. A lot of times if you want to buy an orange amplifier or something, yeah, you're going to pay money for good gear. A new Fender, a new Gibson, anything like that. But so much of the like Sears catalog, cheap stuff from the 50s and 60s, Dan Electros, anything Dan Electro. I mean, really, if you see Dan on a product and it's more than 30, 40 years old, buy it. Buy it, at least as an investment. Stick it back. If you don't play it yourself, somebody's going to want it. Gibson frying pan mandolins. They were made for the Army. They were just plywood. Fantastic instruments. What was there were some OKs. There was one called a cylinder back. Yeah, I mean, a lot of times when you're looking at like cheap mandolins, you can get in a lot of trouble. Okay. Always look for real wood. Okay, that's the first thing. Always look for real wood, no plywood on a mandolin because it's got so much tension. It's just not going to hold up. But, yeah, I mean, wow. I mean, I had played literally, Sears catalog guitars, arch tops especially from the like 30s and 40s that were just brilliant. I mean, they were just, tone and volume like you would not believe. And these things literally sold for like 15 or 20 bucks retail in the catalog. And now people would line up to buy them. Mandolins are a little trickier because of that tension. Banjos, always just look for a wood rim or hoop, like pot. I can't remember which part's what. Look for wood and stick with real wood. And banjo's just as simple an instrument as can be. There's so much value in banjos out there. Old drums, gosh, yeah. Uh, Man, there's one company out of Germany. We made so many great instruments, and I cannot remember the name of them right now. But I mean, like big, I mean, massive hollow body, arch top guitars, such good quality. There's a British banjo company, Windsor, I think it was Windsor, made these 6-string banjos. Just awesome, awesome instruments. There was a whole bunch of manufacturers in Chicago that just made everything under like all kinds of different names. I mean, you literally would buy the same instrument. It could have been like a Gibson or a Guild or something, or it could have been like some no-name knockoff out of a dime store. And it would be the same handmade instrument. They're really just incredible instruments. But just remember, price does not always indicate quality. And when it comes to picks, you cannot, in my opinion, you cannot beat a Dunlop. And I love these red picks. I actually really, I like the way they look. I like the way they feel. I like the way they sound. I love everything about these big stubbies. Yeah, very cool pick. Highly recommended. Y'all have a great week. I'll talk to you next time.